something unexpected is happening around Eala in New York, and this time, the biggest story is not coming from the tennis court. The 21-year-old Filipina star has reportedly landed among the top 5 names connected to New York Fashion Week, and that development has created a wave of excitement far beyond the tennis world. A young athlete who was once known mainly for her results is now becoming a name associated with fashion, luxury, major brands, cultural representation, and global influence. And the timing could not be more dramatic. Alex has arrived in New York for the US Open, but instead of being discussed only as a rising tennis star, she is increasingly being treated as a lifestyle personality whose name can attract attention even when there is no match happening. A $140 royal blue Nike US Open dress, a $42 signature Nike shirt that reportedly sold out within minutes, a Chanel bag believed to be worth more than $50,000 on the resale market, custom Filipino-inspired designs, and her growing relationship with major brands have all contributed to a story that is becoming much bigger than tennis. The remarkable part is that Alex is still only 21 years old. She is nowhere near the end of her career, and yet her influence is already reaching areas that many athletes spend an entire career trying to enter. The moment the New York Fashion Week Top 5 recognition began circulating, people naturally started asking the same question. How did a young tennis player from the Philippines become part of a conversation usually dominated by established celebrities, models, designers, and entertainment stars? The answer begins with something Alex has consistently carried with her throughout her rise: identity. Alex has never treated her Filipino heritage as something she needs to hide or separate from her professional career. Instead, she has repeatedly found ways to bring pieces of her culture into the biggest stages of tennis. Her clothing, accessories, and collaborations increasingly reflect that approach. She is not simply wearing something because it looks expensive or fashionable. She is using fashion to tell people something about who she is, where she came from, and what she wants to represent. That is one reason her relationship with Nike has become so interesting. Before Alex even began her US Open campaign, Nike introduced a royal blue court slam dress associated with her US Open kit. The price was around $140, or approximately $600 based on the figures surrounding the release. The color immediately caught attention because of its striking old royal blue appearance, with many fans seeing a connection to the Philippine national colors. Nike described the design as basketball-inspired and made using recycled materials, with large mesh sections along the sides and back. The racerback silhouette was designed for movement, while Nike Performance technology was intended to provide comfort during competition. But for Alex's supporters, the technical specifications were only one part of the story. The emotional meaning behind the outfit was far more important. Alex's tennis kits have included Filipino words and messages associated with growth, perseverance, and the rewards of hard work. Phrases connected to ideas such as, "What you plant, you will one day reap," and "Once it grows, it cannot be stopped," have appeared in connection with her apparel. Those words transform a normal tennis uniform into something personal. Alex has spoken about how sentimental it feels to wear things that carry parts of her culture, and that statement explains why her fashion story feels different from a standard athlete endorsement. She is not simply placing her name beside a product. She is connecting the product to her personal journey. And then came the Nike shirt that made the fashion conversation even louder. The black Nike Court Alex Eala tennis t-shirt was priced at around $42 and featured floral artwork, Alex's name in script, the Nike swoosh, and the familiar "Just Do It" branding. It was released in August 2026, and according to the source material, it sold out within hours of appearing on Nike's website. That alone would have been a strong commercial result. But the comparison with other tennis stars made the story far more surprising. Fashion writer Jessica Schiffer pointed out that other recently released Nike tennis merchandise remained available, including products associated with major names such as Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, and Aryna Sabalenka. These are players with enormous global audiences and established championship credentials. Yet Alex's shirt reportedly disappeared while merchandise connected to some of those stars was still available. Suddenly, the conversation shifted. This was no longer simply about Alex having potential as a tennis player. It was evidence that her name itself was becoming commercially powerful. The shirt also became a fascinating example of how fan demand can overpower criticism. Some fans questioned the design, saying the dark floral artwork was difficult to see against the black fabric and arguing that Nike could have created something more distinctive. Others compared the design unfavorably with earlier Filipino-inspired Alex merchandise. But the criticism did not stop people from wanting the shirt. Fans reportedly asked Nike to restock it, while the product page indicated that more availability could come. That combination is unusual. People were debating the design while simultaneously trying to get their hands on the product. And that tells us something important about the strength of Alex's connection with her supporters. They were not simply buying a shirt because it looked good. They wanted something carrying Alex's name. They wanted a piece of the story. The floral details were also meaningful because they connected with earlier Nike designs associated with Alex's Filipino heritage. During her Wimbledon campaign, Nike had created a custom hair tie featuring the sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines. Filipino-inspired elements had also appeared in earlier Nike by You-related designs involving Filipino artist Georgina Koo. So the floral theme was not simply a random design decision. It was becoming part of Alex's visual identity. And that is exactly where an athlete endorsement can evolve into something much more powerful. When fans can recognize a player's style without even seeing the name, the athlete is beginning to build a real brand. Alex is starting to reach that point. But Nike merchandise is only one side of the story. Her fashion influence became even more visible when fans noticed what she was carrying away from the tennis court. Before traveling to Canada earlier in August, Alex shared a simple outfit check. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary travel outfit. A plain white t-shirt, relaxed purple pants, and loafers. But then fans noticed the bag hanging from her shoulder. It appeared to be a Chanel piece, and fashion-focused followers quickly began identifying its details. The bag was believed to be a Chanel plum tote associated with the fashion house's Fall/Winter 2010 or 2011 collection. It featured Chanel's recognizable quilting, purple and white tweed, and padded exterior detailing. It also had spacious compartments, making it practical enough for everyday travel. One particularly Alex detail made the whole picture even more recognizable: her oversized headphones. She is often seen wearing them while walking around tournaments, and the large bag was more than capable of carrying them. Alex has previously admitted that she is a sucker for a good bag, and her growing collection suggests that her interest in fashion is genuine rather than simply something created by sponsors. According to the figures in the source material, the Chanel bag could cost at least $2,500, or approximately $152,295 on the resale market. That is an extraordinary amount for an accessory, especially one connected to a collection more than a decade old. But the real story was not the price tag. It was the way Alex combined luxury with a relaxed, youthful look. She did not need an elaborate outfit to make the bag stand out. A simple shirt, comfortable pants, and loafers were enough. That balance has become one of the most interesting aspects of her style. Alex can appear in a designer accessory one day, wear a custom Filipino-inspired outfit the next, and then show up in a simple athletic look without appearing as though she is forcing an image. Her style can move between sporty, elegant, playful, traditional, and casual. That versatility is valuable in fashion because it feels natural to her age and personality. She is not trying to look like someone she is not. She is developing a visual identity that grows alongside her life as a professional athlete. And that identity has another important dimension: Filipino design. Alex has embraced custom Filipiniana-inspired clothing connected to her family, including an ivory ensemble designed by her uncle and Filipino designer Eala. The outfit featured sculptural bolero sleeves, soft draping, and clean lines, combining modern styling with Filipino craftsmanship. The importance of that moment went beyond fashion. It showed how Alex's growing international profile could create space for Filipino designers and Filipino culture on a global stage. When Alex walks into an international event wearing something connected to her heritage, people who may never have paid attention to Filipino fashion suddenly have a reason to look. That is influence. And Alex's style has not been limited to formal appearances. She has also embraced vacation looks featuring florals, pastel tones, and animal print combinations, while other appearances have shown her in polished cocktail tailoring and elevated everyday clothing. The common thread is that everything still feels youthful and relaxed. She can dress up without losing the personality that made fans connect with her in the first place. That is likely one reason the fashion world has begun to notice her. Fashion influence is not only about expensive clothes. It is about whether people want to copy, discuss, or remember what someone wears. Alex is beginning to create that reaction. A simple airport outfit can become a talking point. A tennis dress can become a cultural statement. A Nike shirt can become a sellout. A family-designed Filipiniana outfit can become a celebration of Filipino craftsmanship. And suddenly, a tennis player becomes part of the fashion conversation. The reported New York Fashion Week Top 5 recognition therefore feels like more than another fashion headline. It represents the growing reach of Alex's name. She is becoming recognizable to people who may not follow the WTA closely. That is a major development for a player who is still at the beginning of her professional journey. But there is an important reason this fashion story has become possible. The tennis story came first. Alex did not suddenly become interesting because she carried a designer bag. She became interesting because she built a remarkable tennis career and then allowed her personality to become part of the story. Her 2026 season has already changed the trajectory of her career. According to the source material, she won her maiden WTA title in Washington after defeating world number 3 Jessica Pegula in the final. She reached the 4th round at Wimbledon. She climbed to a career-high ranking of world number 18. She also collected victories against top 10 opponents. Those results gave her the platform. The fashion world then started noticing the personality behind the results. This is why the two sides of her career cannot really be separated anymore. When Alex wins, her audience grows. When her audience grows, brands notice. When brands notice, her visibility expands. And when her visibility expands, more people become interested in watching her tennis. It creates a cycle that can continue building on itself. The US Open is therefore arriving at the perfect moment. Alex is returning to a tournament that already holds a special place in her story. She won the US Open girls singles title in 2022 at just 17 years old. She also recorded her first Grand Slam main draw victory at the event. Now she returns years later as a completely different player. She is no longer the unknown teenager trying to prove that she belongs. She is entering the tournament as one of the highest-ranked Filipino players in history and as a player carrying enormous expectations from supporters around the world. At the same time, she is walking into New York with a profile that extends beyond the tennis court. The fashion industry is watching her. Major brands are watching her. Filipino supporters are watching her. Tennis fans are watching her. That creates a unique kind of pressure. Every match matters, but now everything around the match matters too. Her outfit can become a headline. Her appearance can become a social media moment. Her merchandise can sell out. Her performance can affect the way the world sees the entire Alex Eala story. That can be both an advantage and a burden. For a young athlete, fame can create expectations that are sometimes harder to manage than the opponent standing across the net. A player can prepare for a forehand. A player can prepare for a serve. But preparing for thousands of people expecting a breakthrough is much harder. Alex has already experienced this kind of attention throughout North America. Her supporters have repeatedly turned tournament sessions into events. In Toronto, Filipino fans created a remarkable atmosphere around her matches, with some supporters even dressing as Toronto Raptors in a playful celebration of the city and the Filipino community. In Washington, her supporters helped create an atmosphere that even Jessica Pegula acknowledged was difficult to play against. In Cincinnati, fans stayed late to support Alex even when her run ended in a difficult match against Amanda Anisimova. These moments reveal something important. Alex's popularity does not depend entirely on winning. Her supporters have become emotionally invested in her journey. They celebrate when she wins, but they do not disappear when she loses. That is a powerful foundation for any athlete brand. It means people are following the person, not just the scoreboard. And that same emotional connection appears in fashion. Fans wanted the Nike shirt because it represented Alex. They paid attention to the dress because it represented Alex. They noticed the Chanel bag because it belonged to Alex's world. They celebrated the Filipiniana outfit because it connected her global success with Filipino culture. In other words, the product is becoming secondary to the person. That is one of the strongest positions an athlete can occupy. If someone buys a shirt only because it carries the Nike logo, the company benefits. If someone buys it because it carries Alex's name, the athlete's influence becomes part of the value. That is why the reported sellout is so significant. It suggests that Alex is creating demand around her identity, not simply borrowing the demand of a larger brand. And that is exactly what sponsors want. They want athletes who can create an emotional response. Alex appears to have developed that connection naturally through her journey. Her story is compelling because she is young, talented, Filipino, ambitious, and still climbing. Fans feel like they are watching something unfold in real time. She has not already achieved everything. She is still chasing the biggest trophies. She is still trying to break through at Grand Slams. She is still learning how to handle the pressure that comes with being a top-ranked player. That unfinished story is part of her appeal. People want to see what happens next. That curiosity is incredibly valuable. It means every tournament can become another chapter. Every new outfit can become another conversation.